Hey Shalligators, it's time for a new challenge. If you're new here, you might not know what a challenge is. It's a Shallon challenge, and we've done these in the past. We've done like a keto diet challenge or whatever diet you wanted to go on. We've done a positivity one, how to create positive spirals instead of like negative spirals. Surprisingly hard, but incredibly effective. Challenges are just a time for us to pause and pick a goal. We have so much energy. I mean, not like, oh, I have so much energy, I want to do stuff. No, I mean like mental energy that can be directed towards something positive or it can turn into anxiety. We are women of action, and it's time we take action over some things in our life. And for me, that's drinking. I don't think I have a problem with drinking. I don't black out. I don't throw up. You can definitely have a problem with drinking without those things being present. I don't think that I have a problem with drinking, but I don't think I have mastery over it. And that's what I want. I want more mastery in all aspects of my life. I want to feel like the driver in my life, not a passenger when it comes to fitness or finances or alcohol or whatever it might be. It's very detrimental to us if we feel like we're the passenger in our life in any given scenario or aspect of our life. We can't feel like that in a friendship and just be like, oh, I don't know, I'm at the will of this mean girl, and then think we're going to have a healthy dating relationship. Or we can't be at a job that we hate and feel like we're going to have healthy friendships or be good to our body. It's all interconnected. So our new challenge is about drinking. But before I break all this down, I want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram. Also head over to the Shalligators Reddit page. It's where everyone's connecting. It's like our little clubhouse on the internet, besides here. And you guys can share your experiences doing the challenge. I will be lurking and weighing in also and doing some follow-up videos. Also, speaking of a sexy little clubhouse, find me on InfStream. We've got some super intimate story times on there and some super intimate hookup tutorials, blowjobs, handjobs, dirty talk 101. And I also want to know other topics you guys want to see. It's a really fun place to connect, ad-free and uncensored, only $2 a month. So let's talk about drinking. I'm trying to think of like how to convey why I wanted to do this video. I've been wanting to get more mastery over alcohol for a long time. And like I said, I don't have like a problem with it. I drink the least out of all my friends, but I also don't feel like I have control. If I'm like, I'm going to go to dinner with my friends and I'm not going to drink, and someone's like, we're getting champagne, I'm like, okay. Like, I'm just so malleable. I go with the flow, which is not a great thing. And I also feel like I have this persona of like the fun friend, fun Bobby. If you watch Friends, I feel like that. And people have said to me, they're like, just wait till Shallon gets here. Then she's going to bring the party. She's going to start the party. And they don't mean Shallon's going to rip 11 shots of tequila, because I don't. But it's this persona that I have. It's not like it's fake, because this is who I am. I am fun. I am like lively. I start the party. I get everyone involved, but it's kind of become a runaway train. It's like gotten away from me in some ways, where I feel like I can't be the boring friend. I can't be the sober friend. I can't be the friend on the diet. I can't be the friend who wants to be low-key. I have to be the fun friend. And that's part of the reason I left New York, was to get away from that, because I was always the friend with the invitations and the great parties and the gift bags and blah, blah, blah. And it was, the tail was wagging the dog. I said this recently in the Aubrey O'Day video, that like one of my best friends from college gave me this really needed reality check. She's like, would you go to these events if you couldn't photograph them? And I was like, no. Like, if you couldn't flex on what you're doing, would you still do it? And that to me kind of set off this chain reaction of like, how am I living my life? And is it authentic to me? And that was a big reason I moved to Montana. I wanted a fresh start. I wanted to be someplace where there are no cool events. There's no cool events here, people, at all. Could I be happy if I wasn't like stunting on Instagram and posting all this cool shit for the parties and the gift bags? And therefore, could I be happy without all of those trappings, without high fashion, without cool restaurants, without alcohol? Well, I've drank more here than I did in New York. I have drank literally probably every day for the past 2 months, because I've had guests for basically the past 2 months. Since I moved here in June, I have had maybe 8 days by myself. I've always had guests, and I love it. I love having my friends here, and I'm like so thankful that people actually want to come and visit, and they're not like out of sight, out of mind, bitch. But people who come to visit, they're on vacation. They're in vacation mode. They're vacation eating. They're vacation drinking. They're vacation everything. I live here. It's like I live at Disneyland. You know what I mean? And so they want to have cocktails at 3 p.m. They've taken the day off. I'm like, So I've been in vacation mode since June, and it's taken a toll on my waistline. I have gained all the weight that I lost in quarantine, and I wasn't drinking really in quarantine. I did at first, but then I just stopped. I was like, drink for what? To do what with who? Like, do nothing. It just made me sad and weirder. But now that I'm here, it's like, yeah, it's undone all of my like diet and exercise progress. It's taken a big toll on my work productivity. Like, I'm putting out fewer videos, which I don't like. And it's not that like I'm super hungover, but it just throws me off. And it's like, well, I know that if I go out and have one drink at dinner, I'm going to want 2. And then I'm on 4. And then we're going to go out. We're going to go to another bar. I'm not going to come home and do more work. I'm not going to come home and read my book or do some Pilates before bed. I'm not going to do that. When I get into party mode, I can't stop. And that's why I feel like I don't have mastery. And I never take it to an extreme, but I also don't feel like I have the control that I want. I want to be able to go out and not drink. Which sounds terrifying. There was recently someone in my life who realized he was struggling with alcohol and some things, and I had always viewed him as such a brave person. He'd accomplished so many things that I wanted to and that I still want to, and he has this bravery that I don't possess. And I'm a pretty brave person, but he's brave in other ways. And it was just, I had even more respect and admiration for him when I watched him confront his issues with alcohol. And it was not easy and it was not pretty. And to hear him say like, I'm self-destructing was like, it hurt me to my soul. It was awful because he's the last person on earth who should feel like that. And that really was a wake-up call for me. I'm like, listen, you have people in your life who are doing the hard things. You have to be worthy of their struggles, not their struggles. You have to be worthy of their efforts. And so I decided I would kind of stop drinking in solidarity. I don't even think you knew this, but I did. And I realized how hard it was. I thought, oh, I'm just going to like shut this switch off. Like, I'm just not going to drink. I'm just not going to drink. And then like, I'm going to be inspirational to him. It was not easy. And I failed almost immediately because I was able to talk myself into anything. Maybe this is an only child thing, but I can talk myself into whatever I want. Maybe it's just an adult thing, like a childless adult with no responsibilities thing where it's like, oh, someone's ordering mimosas? Sure, I can do that. My job is flexible enough that if I don't want to work for a day or a week, I don't have to. If I want to get super wasted on a Tuesday morning, I can, and I can sleep the entire rest of the day and the whole day after that. Like, my life is very elastic, and that's a huge benefit to the life I've crafted and the career I've crafted, but it also has a huge downside. I have a lack of structure and I have a lack of accountability. And so that's kind of why I'm doing this challenge publicly, because I need you guys to all be accountable with me. So I was thinking about like, what do I want out of this challenge? Do I want to like stop drinking forever? Like, no, because it's not that extreme of a situation. And I also think that stuff, when we tell ourselves that, it backfires. Like, I am never having chocolate again. Never. And then at 2 a.m, you're at Town Pump housing Kit Kats in the parking lot, just like a garbage person. I think we start to like fetishize things we can't have. So again, I just want mastery over this. I want to sort of like break that I don't want to say addiction because it isn't, but it's almost like how we're addicted to sugar. You know, it's like, I don't want to feel like if I don't have sugar, I can't rest, I can't relax, the meal isn't complete, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no thanks. I'm fine without it. That's how I want to feel with alcohol. And like I said, living out here, it's been like party mode. Like, you know, my friends have been visiting. It's also just a very alcohol saturated town. Bozeman, Montana, which is close to me, is the #1 consumer of White Claws in America. I mean, it's a lot of White Claws, and people literally drink all the time. Like, because people do so many outdoor things. Like, they go camping, we go floating down the river, we go shooting guns, we go riding horses All those things lend themselves to alcohol. I know, not the guns. We're like out in the country. Just relax about it. I mean, people aren't blacked out, but it's just everyone's got a beer in their hand. It's the country. This is kind of what people do. And so I don't know how to like fit in this new lifestyle in a way that also fits in not drinking as much, or at least being comfortable to say like, I'm good, whatever. So this is what I want to do, because I've been thinking a lot about this. Like, how do I want this challenge to manifest, at least for me? I want you guys to figure out what is doable and comfortable for you. If you think it's realistic to say, I'm never going to drink again, okay. I personally don't think so, but if you think it is, great. There's this thing that my therapist does with me. He says he does it with like obsessive compulsive people. I was like, thanks. I'm not clean enough to be OCD, okay? But he'll pick like, say that you're never drinking again. I can't do that. Say I'm only going to drink once a month. No. Say I'm only going to drink once a week. Say I'm only going to have 3 drinks a week. Okay. Go down to the level where you're like, I can do that. You can always dial it up. You know, because you're going to feel good about yourself if you're like, oh, I hit that marker. I'm going to challenge myself to do something a little bit more intense. But if you set it too high and you fail, you're going to be like, I'm over this completely. It's like working out. If you're like, I'm going to do CrossFit 5 days a week. No, bitch, you're not. You're going to do it twice, be so sore you never go back, feel like a failure, associate failure with CrossFit and working out, and that's all she wrote. So I want you to pick something that's realistic, right? Because every step in the right direction is a step away from the wrong direction. And you don't have to like go to AA unless you want to. Maybe that would be cool. I've never been to one. I know that they're doing Zoom ones. That could be kind of neat. Maybe it's I'm going to go to church more. Maybe it's I'm going to read some books. I downloaded this book called The Sober Lush, and it's about a girl who stopped drinking, and it's about like how to live a fulfilling, fun social life sober. And I'm excited to read it just to kind of see what she says. It's not like I'm going to follow it like it's the gospel, but I think it's going to give me sort of a glimpse onto the other side where it's like, oh yeah, you can go out and have fun and not drink. So I had to sit and ask myself, why do I drink? Like I said, part of it was that persona. You know, it's like, I'm fun Shallon. Like I'm Shallon who gets everyone else excited and pumped up. I'm not the cooler. I don't like, oh, we're not drinking, you guys. Huge part of it is anxiety. I don't seem like a socially anxious person. I'm very socially fluid. I'm very good in a crowd. I'm very dynamic and outgoing. And I am anxious as fuck. I'm a social sprinter. This is what I always say. I'm a social sprinter. I'm not a marathoner. I get in, I'm a big, oh, hey, what's up? Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Let's take our pictures. And then I'm like, I think it's an only child thing. I need a lot of alone time. I need a lot of renewal in that sense. And I also need to realize that. And I need to be more aware of when I hit that tipping point where it's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I actually don't want another glass of champagne. I want to go home. I want to stop talking. I want to feel at rest and at peace. And because I'm too chicken shit to be like, you know what, guys, I'm done. I know it's 9:15, but I am good. I'm going to reach for the thing that gives me that feeling, fakes that feeling, right? It fakes that feeling, which is alcohol, or it's usually food, or a combination, because where there's one, there's the other. It's like I'm putting something in my mouth. I've got something in my hands. I'm doing something, right? And I'm panic eating. I'm panic drinking. And then I'm panic fat and panic hungover. And then I'm panic ashamed of myself. I don't want to live like this anymore. Again, I want mastery. And so part of it is I need to choose things, social engagements, that I actually genuinely like. I love to go floating on the river. That's a big thing that we do out here. But I don't actually want to float for 3 hours. I want to float for like an hour. And when I realized that, I was like, okay, if I float for an hour, I'm not going to feel compelled to drink. If I float for 3, I'm cracking open the White Claw the second we get in the water, because I know by hour 3, I'm going to be so fucking bored and sick of this river, I better be drunk. That's the only way I'm going to be having fun is if I'm drunk. Well, maybe the way you could be having fun is if you change the logistics of the situation to something that actually suits what your heart and your soul is telling you, right? Maybe I don't want to go out with this like kind of whatever friend who I don't like. Maybe I want to do something different. Maybe I want to stay home. Maybe I don't want to go on like some random Tinder date and like slug down vodka sodas because I have nothing else to say. I have nothing to do with my hands and my mouth. So it's really important to look at what your triggers are. A lot of times they're simply behavioral. They're just like, they're routine. Before I moved out of New York, I was drinking a lot because I was going, ouch. I sprained my wrist. Fuck. And I took my stupid cast thing off because it's so dorky. I look like some dorky gamer. And now I keep like using it. Hurts. Anyway. I'm going to put it back on. But I was drinking a lot because I was going to a lot of events. And even when I wasn't going to events, I would come home and I would automatically open a bottle of wine. Part of it is because I have a lot of wine. Or I would open a bottle of champagne, which was infinitely worse because you can't really like keep champagne. I mean, you can, but I would talk myself into finishing. I would talk myself into finishing the bottle or pretty close to it because it didn't keep very well. Wine, you can pour a glass and put it back and it's fine the next day. Champagne goes flat. So I was like, well, if I've had 2 glasses, I should probably have 4 more. And I was getting like pretty lit. And then I was getting emo. I was spiraling. I was sexting. I had no mastery. So one thing that helped me was coming home and opening soda water. Because what I realized I liked about the wine thing, having a glass of wine, was it felt ritualistic. I was doing something special. I was coming home, boop, it made that little pop sound. I put some ice in the glass. I poured it in my fancy crystal goblet and I sat there and I was like, I'm a lady. I'm doing a lady thing. I have my lady routine. I started doing that with soda water. Well, first I started with white wine spritzers. I love a wine spritzer. And I watered it down more and more and more and more and more until it was mostly soda water and a splash of wine. And then I just cut the wine out altogether after like a week or something. And then I was coming home and I was still doing this ritualistic thing. It was like the pop of the soda water, just the sound and that. It seemed intentional and special. I put it in my fancy wine glass. I put a twist of lime and some ice cubes, and I sat down on the couch. I was like, I'm still a lady. Only I'm not a lady who's going to spiral tonight. I'm not a lady who's going to stalk her ex-boyfriend. I'm not a lady who's going to wake up hating myself tomorrow. I was starting to have mastery. But then, the world caught on fire. It was the pandemic. I moved out here and I feel like I've lost the ground that I gained and I'm mad at myself. That's the worst feeling. It's not like I'm hungover, blah, blah, blah. It's not how you feel physically. It's how you feel emotionally. It's like, wow, did I need those shots at 1:30 in the morning? No, I didn't. So I am committing to 2 drinks a week. I'm not happy about it. I wish it was 2 drinks a day. It could easily be 2 drinks a day. And I thought about making it 3 drinks a week, but I realized if I have 3 drinks, I'll have 5 and maybe 7. And then we'll go to the second bar and oh my gosh, let's go back to my house. I have so much wine and champagne. It's such a slippery slope. 2 drinks, you can go out twice, have a glass of wine at each engagement, or you can, if I really want to get all lit up, I can go out with my friends, take 2 shots and be like, woo, and like coast for 90 minutes on that buzz and then be like, you know what? This is actually as long as I need to be out. I'm going to go home. And it also is going to prevent me from day drinking, which is deadly because day drinking turns into night drinking. And then you're like, I've been drinking for 14 hours and I'm going to kill myself tomorrow. I get super bad hangover anxiety. I think everyone is mad at me. It's miserable. And I remember an ex-boyfriend telling me this once because he didn't really drink. He's like, there's nothing that's so fun, it's worth fucking the entire next day. Nothing. I was like, But what about, no. He's like, think about it. If something is that fun, it's probably going to be fun sober or like sober-ish. You don't have to get blacked out, right? If you're at like the US Open in a suite, like, do you have to get wasted? No. You can have 2 drinks and be just happy as a clam. Same amount of happiness if you had 8. So why are we doing this to ourselves? So I'm going to commit to 2 drinks a week. I already hate this. But I'm hoping it's going to have a positive effect on my self-esteem, my productivity, my skin, my waistline, like how much time I spend with my dog, with the guys I'm dating, like just better overall outcomes in my life. And I hope it's also going to illuminate for me things I don't want to be doing or people who aren't necessarily good for me. And this is my number one tip to you. Tell people you're doing this. Tell people you're doing this. And don't tell them when the wine menus have already been put on the table when y'all are out, okay? Send a text to your friends, be like, hey, just FYI, I'm doing a challenge from this fantastic YouTuber Shallon. She's got great hair and perky tits. She is committing to like 2 drinks a week. I think I'm going to only drink on the weekends. I want you to find what's good for you, okay? Just like we did in the diet challenge, like do what works for you. If it was veganism, it was keto, whatever. It's all about your personal parameters and something you feel is realistic that you can stick to. It's like, I'm only going to drink, I'm not going to take any shots. I'm only going to drink nice wine. Like I'm not going to drink after work or something. Figure it out. And then tell people in your life so that if they have a bad reaction, you want to see that. Smoke them out. I want to know if there's bad people in my life. Smoking out bad people is like picking at your skin. Ostensibly, you don't want to find anything in your pores. But when you do, you're like, oh my God, this is so satisfying. That's how I feel about smoking out bad people. It's like, you were clogging my emotional pores this whole time. Is this not the ugliest cup you've ever seen? I bought it drunk. Look at the decisions I make. So tell people, be like, hey, I'm so down for brunch. Just to let you know, I'm not going to be drinking. Don't hate me. You can drink whatever you want, but I'm sticking to it. And be upfront. Be like, you know what? I could really use your support. Not like you have to not drink either, but just if I'm like, oh, should I get something? I want you to tell me, no, you're not getting a Bloody Mary. No, you're not. You're going to spend less money. You're going to take in less calories. You're going to have more time and energy for things that actually feed you, because I guarantee after a certain point, alcohol really doesn't. And you're going to see that maybe you can go out with your friends and have an amazing time, not wasted, with 1 or 2 drinks in you all night, and that's plenty. And if you can't have a good time, those are data points, right? So in watching people in my life go through this and really change their behavior, like I said, has been super inspiring. And that's why I want you guys to connect in the comments, connect on Reddit, connect on my Instagram, whatever, and help each other. Like start some threads, like really, really get to like it. Post your goals down here. And then if other girls are like, you know what, that's something I'm going to do too. Connect and let's be accountable for each other. I'm going to do a follow-up video maybe in like 2 weeks. Let's see how we are. Let's see how we feel. Let's see what things are bubbling up in terms of it being difficult. I have a feeling we're all going to feel a lot better. And maybe all we need is just a month of not drinking, a month of just kind of getting back to being healthy. And then we're like, okay, maybe we just need some balance. And then come October, we're like, you know what? I want to have a fun fall. I want to have a few more cocktails, make some pumpkin spice martinis, whatever it might be. But we're going to approach it with more mastery and not from a place of anxiety, not from a fear-based decision-making standpoint. We're going to feel like we are in the driver's seat. We're not a passenger in this out of control, drunk driving situation. I want to know what you guys have to say. If there's something else you kind of want to give up, maybe it isn't alcohol, maybe it's weed, maybe it's ketamine or ketamine. Worst experience of my life. Maybe it's eating meat. Look around your life and think, okay, what am I using as some sort of crutch? In what situations? What triggers it? What can I do to remove those triggers, ameliorate those moments, and get the feeling from the drugs, the alcohol, the coffee, the beef, whatever it is? How can I manufacture that in a healthier way in my life? And then we're going to all collaborate and come back together. For now, I'm going to finish off my iced tea. No vodka in it. We're going to do it, Shalloners, and we're going to do it together. Good luck. See you later, Shalligators.